Good morning, guys. Larry MF White here, coming at you with the business building tip of the day. And so before we get into that, right, I want to talk a little bit about what happened last week. So big banks get a huge deregulation break. And then immediately afterwards, they almost get grounded by the Fed. So let me tell you what I mean here real quick, right? So you saw last Thursday and Friday, major bank stocks like JP Morgan Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo rose drastically because there was some loosening parental guidelines, right, from the FDIC. And for those of you that don't know, right, like the FDIC kind of insures the money that are in the bank, because what the bank does, the FDIC more so supervises the banks to make sure they're not being irresponsible with our money. And banks, they don't let that money just sit there in your checking account, right? Like they actually take that money, they lend it out to people, and they make money on your money that's sitting there in the bank. And so we know that loans are critical, right, to driving the economy and doing this. And the FDIC just gave banks a huge break that will allow them to invest inactive customers' cash, so your money and my money that's sitting in checking account, savings account, into venture capital. So think about this as an investment in like a pre-IPO. Companies like Airbnb or Uber or something like that. And so that was huge for the banks because they can make some riskier plays at this point. But the FDIC also reduced the amount of cash that banks need to set aside as a reserve. So now they can make riskier bets, and they need less money on the sidelines. So the banks were really excited about this situation, but what do they say? One step forward, one step back type thing. Because just as they were looking to do this, right, that same day, the FDIC's changed things a little bit more. And they ordered banks to stop with buybacks until September, and they can't pay any investments out to dividends. Why are they doing this? Because they ran a couple of different analysis, and one case showed that one of the largest banks in the country could lose up to $700 billion in a worst case scenario with what's going on in the economy right now. So they loosened up on this side, and then they kind of tightened up on this side. So all in all, it's kind of a wash as far as we're concerned or investors are concerned, but is something that we definitely need to think about at the end of the day. So enough with that crazy market that's going on. Today, I wanted, for our business building tip of the week here, I wanted to talk about real estate success tip and how do we avoid the real estate roller coaster, right? That most realtors experience in their income, in their commissions, or any sales profession at this point. And so what is this roller coaster? Well, it essentially goes like this, right? When sales professionals have nothing to do, they do all the things that they should be doing, reaching out to past clients, doing open houses, buying leads, following up with these leads, etc. We get a couple of clients in escrow, and we're like, oh my gosh, I got to take care of these clients. And we stop doing those things that got us to that situation in the first place. So we do all of these good things, good. We stop doing them. All of these deals close, boom, and we start back over, right? And we keep going through this over and over and over again. And this happens for 5, 10, 15, 20 years for some realtors. And here's the important part for you guys to know is that it doesn't have to be this way. This is entirely controllable in your guys' business structure. And so that's where I wanted to spend a few minutes with you guys here today, is that there's 3 things that must happen in order for you to avoid this up and down roller coaster. And those 3 things are this, right? We have to manage our schedule for one. We have to know your money-making activities. And then we have to do future delegation. And so I want to break down each of those for you guys here real quick. Managing your schedule. To me, it's not about time management. Everybody has the same 24 hours in the day. It's more so about choice management. What are you spending your time on? And are you growing your database and new potential customers every single day? If that's not happening, then you need to reevaluate what you're spending your time on each day. And this is where, and we've talked about this in the past, guys, we have to track and measure our numbers. Because if you don't know what's getting those numbers, we can never go to number 2, to where we know what our money-making activities are. What's your return on investment if you're buying leads from Zillow or buying leads from somewhere else, right? You have to know that when you do an open house, it produces this many leads. They go into your database and they're followed up with for life. And what's the return on investment? If you do a geographic farm, how long does it take you to start seeing deals come back in? So number 1 is that time management or choice management, coupled with leading into number 2, know what your dollar making activities are. So that's where you spend the bulk of your day refilling that pipeline over and over again. And now, I'm not saying that this is that it's easy, but this is where the future delegation comes in, right? As that pipeline gets filled back up, you're going to start being distracted and you're going to start getting pulled in different directions. Loan officers are calling, appraisers are calling, all of this types of things. Guys, we hire other people for that. Your clients hire other people to do the title work. They hire other people to do the loans. If you're having to jump in on those jobs, then you're like working with the wrong partners at the end of the day. And so turning in paperwork, like logging some results and stuff like that, all of that stuff has to be done. It doesn't necessarily need to be done for you. This is where you can bring on an assistant, a transaction coordinator, a virtual assistant, or something like that. And so if you can hone in on these 3 things, choice management, make sure that you're producing leads every single day. You have a system that's making sure that you're following up with them. You're going to be golden. Second part is you identify and track your numbers so you know what those dollar making activities are. Man, that's going to help with number 1, your choice management. And then it's all going to come together with number 3 is what kind of things can you take off of your plate? You start putting those 3 things together and your business stops going like this and starts going like this, guys. So if you need anything, please call, text, email me. I'm putting out free tips and stuff like this all the time on jointhecoach.com. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'm always looking for leaders out there to utilize some of my lead generation, coaching, training to build a massive team around them. Hope this helped you guys out today. If you need anything from me, call, text, email, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a great day.